Good health to you.
You look like you've got a lot on your plate, Master Bailiff. Is work keeping you busy?
Busy? I've had so many visitors I wouldn't wonder if the door fell off its hinges.
What's going on?
I've been given the task of putting some of the Scarlet's refugees to work. It's not that there's a shortage of jobs, the problem's sharing them out fairly.
I understand. Everyone has mouths to feed.
The worst part is they won't tell you who really needs a job the most, but you might be able to help, Henry.
How?
They're like to be more honest with you, so you can find out who's in the most need. And you can decide for yourself who'll do what. Will you help?
If you need help, I'll do whatever I can.
You're a godsend. I'm sure it won't take too long. You know how the refugees are getting on, don't you? But ask around if you need to find out more.
What kind of work are we talking about?
Well, old Hagen is looking for a cook, and we need 5 carriers.
A cook and 5 water carriers. That sounds simple enough. Is there a problem?
A little. We need 3 water carriers, but the other 2 will have to carry, begging your pardon, shit. Or as the Pope would say, excrement.
Is there anyone who can tell me more about it?
Yes, the merchant Conrad Hagen is the one looking for a cook, so you can talk to him. And young Alex will know which of the Scarlet's folk are best suited to the job.
How come that's such a cause for concern?
For one thing, they're afraid of me, and I can't get a straight answer out of any of them. So how the hell am I supposed to make the right choice?
Oh, they're desperate. You can't blame them.
I don't, but I might end up picking some good-for-nothing who'll just booze his wages away.
Can you tell me anything more about the cook?
You'll have to ask Hagen yourself. I couldn't get a straightforward answer out of him. Maybe he's changed his mind.
What do I need to know about the water carriers?
We need 3. Right now, some of the burgers' hands are doing the job.
And they need to go all the way down to the river for water.
Of course, where else would they get it? Gallows Hill? It's not an easy job, but someone has to do it.
What can you tell me about the other carriers?
It's dirty, but it's a job that needs to be done. There'll be more than enough work for them. Some places are overflowing.
Sounds disgusting. Why would anyone want the job?
If all else fails, I'll pay 2 groschen for every 1 I pay the water carriers. That might convince someone.
That's all I need to know.
Good luck, then.
May the Lord watch over you.
fresh bread.
Have a look at these cucumbers. They'll stay firm all winter. Buy them before someone else
Kettles
does.
for water, baskets for goods, and torches for the night. I have it all.
God have mercy. What exactly happened there?
Them bastards came by night, crept into the stables and started killing the horses. Can you credit it? The horses!
God almighty. Why? What would they do that for?
I'm baffled myself. If they tried to steal them, now that I'd understand. But that... So as soon as we heard the horses whinnying in terror, we all ran to the stables, and those cutthroats were waiting for us there and set about trying to kill us all too. It was terrible.
Oh my God.
I'm still shaking at the knees. I don't know how I managed to escape alive. All of a sudden they were gone, and me and Mistress Zora and a few stable boys were left standing in the middle of a bloodbath.
That's dreadful. Thank the Lord you made it out alive.
All the saints were watching over me, but the others...
They're with God now.
Aye, they are. May he have mercy on their souls.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask about our former neighbours. There are jobs here for some of them, and I have to pick people.
The bailiff told me about it. He still wants our people to do the knacker's job?
But what of it? It will benefit everyone.
Not everyone. There's not enough work for everyone, and no one wants to do the knacker's job.
I wouldn't beg your neighbours, but I'm choosing this.
So, do you know who's most in need of some coin and is fit for hard work?
Everyone's in need of coin, but not everyone is fit for such work.
Who should I talk to then? Where will I find them?
I'll talk to them myself and send them to meet you in front of the rat house, so they'll all be in one place. It'll take me a while, though.
But having a job could save someone's life.
Water carrying, maybe. But if they have to do a job that's not fit for a decent person, only for the knacker or the executioner's servant?
So you think there's no point in it? That it's better to beg than have a job, even if it is hauling shit?
You forget that that's a job for the knacker's hired hand, not for displaced people. When we return to Skillets, they'll never be able to rid themselves of the stink.
I'm also looking for a cook. Do you know of a good cook who's looking for work?
Well, there's Agnes. I've heard she can cook better than anyone. Only...
Well, what's the problem? Did something happen to her?
No, it's just that I haven't seen her around here for ages. I believe she's cooking for the local parish priest and living at the presbytery. So I don't think she's in need of work.
Thanks. I'll go.
Goodbye.
Bread. Bread. Rolls and pretzels.
Carrots and apples picked today to put a smile on your face.
Flour, eggs, salt, yeast. Get it? people, please.
The bailiff sent me. He said you're looking for a cook.
That's right. I'm searching for a good cook, but I've said all that to our esteemed bailiff.
Well, I offered the bailiff my help because I know the Skalitz folk.
Ah, I see. Well, ask away then.
Do you have any particular requirements for the new cook?
Well, it would be an advantage if she knew how to cook.
Well, yes, but the bailiff said you had other conditions.
Well, I want a woman who's capable of looking after the house when I'm away on business.
Young? Nimble?
What for? I want her to impress people with her food, not her face.
I understand. Sorry. I also heard there are vacant carrier jobs.
Yes, yes. I'm surprised it hasn't occurred to anyone sooner. It will certainly benefit the city if the burghers don't have to send their own servants.
It will benefit my people as well.
Of course, it goes without saying.
I also heard that you need workers to carry, to empty latrines.
It's not dignified to talk of such manners. That's not a concern for decent people.
But I need to know...
Enough. I won't have such talk in my home. God be with you. What will it be?
Wait a minute.
Or the kitchen or the field, my fine wares will brighten your every day.
Beneath thy mercy we take refuge, O Blessed Virgin. Disdain not our supplications in our distress, but deliver us from perils, only pure and blessed one. God's blessings.
Are you Agnes, who works at St. James?
I am. Or I did, before those devils rolled in and burnt down Skalitz. Why do you ask?
I'm looking for a good cook and housekeeper, and everyone I asked sent me to you.
Oh, I've been blessed by God.
So it seems. Anyway, the local merchant wants someone who can cook food fit for nobility and take care of his household.
Well, Father Francis was very fond of good food, but I can't just go serve someone else.
Why not?
Because I'm still Father Francis's housekeeper.
But I heard he fled and isn't coming back.
Don't pay any attention. They're just rumors. I'm still his housekeeper.
Father Francis no longer needs a housekeeper.
What? Don't tell me he's found a new one.
Well, I probably shouldn't tell you. I'm afraid that's just how it is.
But that's not like him. Somebody must have been putting ideas into his head. I'll have to go back and talk to him.
But he's not at St. James's.
No? Then where is he? And why does he have a new hat?
They're sending him away, somewhere to South Bohemia. I was told they've arranged all the help he needs there already.
But what will I do?
You didn't want to drag you away somewhere else, since you've been here your whole life.
That's true, but what will he do without me? Who will take care of him?
I'm sure he'll be well taken care of. What about you? You could have a good life as Hagen's housekeeper.
Very well. I'll go and work for him then.
May the Lord watch over you.
God be with you.
O Blessed Virgin, disdain not our supplications in our distress.
Help me, people. Please. I'm from Scallops and I lost everything I had.
Good health to you.
Maybe I could get you some work, if you know how to cook food for nobles.
And where would I learn that? In Skalitz? If it's gruel with lard you're after, fine. But that ain't really fair for a lord.
No, I reckon not. Well, it's not a job for you then.
So why waste my time talking about it? Come back when you've something worthwhile to tell me. Goodbye.
Mixed goods, handy implements, and machines of every kind. Come on up and buy.
How's it going?
I'm looking for people to carry water. Are you interested?
But I already have a job. I help out with the horses. That's better than carrying water.
I suppose so. I just thought maybe you could do with the coin.
Well, thank you for caring. But you ought to ask someone more needy.
God be with you.
right. Thank you.
Come right up.
Jesus Christ be praised. Goodbye.
Let's talk about the price.
Well, we can try it.
Satisfied?
That's a poor offer.
Oh, that's a decent price.
Fruits, apples, cucumbers, onions. Come get 'em.
I'm glad to see you. Good luck then.
Asparagus that'll cut you in half and cucumbers that'll cure what ails you. Come get them.
You look like something the cat dragged in.
I've brought you something. I must have dropped it somewhere.
Probably wasn't the best idea anyway.
I'd like to know... What do you think of the Lord here, Sir Hanush?
He comes from the glorious line of the Lords of Lipa. Folks say he's a bit hot-headed, but he took us in, so he must be a good Christian.
Who's this Sir Hans Capon?
He's actually the real Lord of Rete, and Sir Hanush is only his guardian, because Sir Hans is underage and his father is dead. Folks say he's a spoilt young pup with an eye for the lasses.
That's all. Do you want something?
I'd like to ask a favour of you, Hal.
Of course. What is it?
I heard you're picking people to carry water. No one needs the job more than Antonia.
Adam never mentioned any Antonia.
I'm not surprised. But Antonia really needs that job.
Can she cook?
What's that got to do with carrying water?
Nothing, but there's a cook's job going too. Much easier than hauling water.
I don't know how good a cook she is, though. You'd better ask her yourself.
Do you think she'll be able to handle carrying those buckets? It's quite far, and up that hill.
She's no princess. She's tough enough.
All right. I'll bear it in mind.
Bear it in mind? What does that mean?
It means I'll think about it. The bailiff has the last word.
Well, if he's got something against giving the job to a woman, then try and get Vincent in at least. He might not have anyone on their deathbed, but his mother has no one else.
You're here about the water carrying?
I am. Where do I get some pails?
Hold your horses. We haven't decided yet who gets the job. I have to ask you a few things first.
What for? I can handle the job. But ask away.
You just going to pretend I'm not here?
What trade did you do before?
I worked in the mines, at the winch. You've heard of Thunder the winch, right? Strong as a bull.
Ah, the name sounds familiar. You were one of the new miners, weren't you?
I was. I came last autumn. The winter was mild enough to work the mines, and I showed everyone I was a hard worker. So did I get the job?
We're not finished yet.
Hey, am I invisible?
Are you here because you want to carry water?
Well, I'd rather be back at the winch. Turning it so fast I'd make everyone's head spin. But now I want to carry water at least, since there's some money in it.
Well, there's also the option of carrying, shit.
Not a chance. I'm not shit around. And if anyone tries to make me, I'll break his legs.
Am I invisible or what?
And what if I told you that you get double the pay?
Didn't I mention something about breaking legs?
You did, but more money?
I wouldn't be Thunder the winch anymore. More like Thunder the stench.
And how are you holding up?
I'm not here.
Not very well, I'll tell you that. I help out with something every once in a while and get some money for it. But it's not enough.
Am I invisible
Especially when
or
the
what?
dice don't fall in my favor.
Sure. And have you tried looking for other work?
What for? They'll get the mines running again, and I'll have a real man's job.
Pretend I'm not here.
And what about soldiering? That's real man's work, isn't it?
It is, and I'd be good at it.
Am I invisible?
When I land a punch, you'd think you were kicked by a horse, which I once showed to a soldier I fell out with over a game of dice. Only, I'm too smart for soldiering.
Am I invisible
no doubt.
or what?
I heard you lot don't want to talk to the bailiff.
I don't know much about that. The others didn't talk to him, so I kept my mouth shut as well. That's the way we do it at the mines. He didn't even really ask me anything anyway. Just mumbled something under his breath.
Not talking to me?
What would you give me if I recommended you?
What could I give when I don't have a pot to piss in? All I have is a strong arm. Whenever I hit anything or anyone, they stay hit.
Well, if I get you the job, will you show me how to really hit someone hard?
I could. Deal then.
Deal.
You're just going to pretend I'm not here?
I know everything I need.
So, can I go carry water then?
Not yet. Bailiff and he'll choose.
Well, I hope he chooses me. Otherwise, I might be very angry.
Not
I'll bear that in mind.
May the Lord watch over you.
Am I invisible or what? You could at least dress decently before showing your face in public.
What do you want?
I want to work. And I heard you're the one in charge of giving out jobs, not the bailiff.
It's true. Do you know how to cook? If you know how to make food for nobles, then I might have something for you.
Where would I learn to cook food for nobles? I want to carry water.
But Alex has already picked people who want to carry water.
He didn't ask me, though, so I came here myself.
Look, I already have more people than jobs. You're a bit late.
But I really need a job.
Well, so does everyone else around here.
None of them has a husband on his deathbed.
He's dying.
He's badly wounded. So poorly he's been in his bed for weeks. Unconscious most of the time.
Sorry to hear it.
I already owe the apothecary a small fortune. And he won't lift a finger for us now.
Well, if you know how to cook fine food, I could get you a job at the merchant's house. You'd have a nice roof over your head there too.
All I've ever cooked is gruel and soup. Nothing fit for nobles. A roof would be grand though. Not so much for me, but for my husband. Is there any way you could arrange it?
No. Not unless I lied about your cooking skills. But he'd find out soon enough, and then we'd both be in trouble. What did you do in Skalitz?
I was at the silverworks, roasting the ore and washing it. My husband was at the smelter.
Oh, Christ. Things got very ugly there. I suppose that's where your husband was wounded? It's a miracle you managed to drag him all the way to Rattay.
What else could I do? Leave him there?
All right. I'll think about it and talk to the bailiff.
And you'll tell him to take me, right? Take care.
I'm glad to see you.
Are you here on account of the water carrying?
Yes, I am. My name is Vincent.
Nice to meet you. I'll ask a few questions and we'll see. All right?
Fine. Ask away.
What did you do before this?
I work for my father.
Doing what? Who's your father, anyway?
He was Moimir. We had a farm near Skalitz.
Really? His farmhands came to the tavern a lot, but I never saw you there.
I don't go to taverns.
So you're probably here about carrying water, right?
Aye. I want to carry water.
That's all? You've nothing more to add?
That's what's needed, ain't it?
How are you holding up?
Well, I'm alive. But I miss my father. And the farm, too. But Ma says there's no use dwelling on it. Life must go on.
What happened with Bailiff? He couldn't get a word out of anybody.
I don't know. I didn't talk to him at all.
And what would you give me if I put in a good word for you?
I've got nothing to give.
Oh, come now. You say you want the job, so prove it to me.
Mother told me I should go and help. If you don't want my help, fair enough.
That's enough for now.
See you later.
God be with you.
You're here about the water carrying?
Aye. I can hold water all day long.
So, do you want the job? There's plenty of other folk that will take it if you don't.
I do. I want it. What do I have to do?
So tell me, what was your trade before?
I was a miner, then a farm laborer, then I was a servant, then I fled from Skullets and ended up here.
Quite the fat totem, aren't you? Was none of those jobs good enough for you?
I liked them all, but they were always sending me to do something else. Pickman, they'd say. Leave this and go and do that.
Pickman? That's your name?
Actually, my real name's Vassal, but they call me Pickman.
Is that German?
No. It's from when I was in the mines, digging with a pick.
So you're keen on carrying water?
I've been keen on it since I got up this morning.
And you had another job before this morning, or what?
No. I was just joking.
Besides water, you could carry, you could empty latrines.
What? Carry shit? That'd be a new one for me. Though, it's not a thing I'd go around boasting about.
How are you holding up, anyway?
What can I tell you? I've seen better days for sure.
What happened with the bailiff? He couldn't get a word out of anybody.
That peacock, what was strutting up and down and shouting at everyone? He told me he'd no time to listen to a buffoon like me. So I shut my mouth.
Well, I could put in a good word for you, but you'll have to scratch my back, too.
Fair enough. Show me where it itches.
No, you dolt. It's just a saying. Like I do something for you, and you do something for me.
Ah, right. I see. Well, as it happens, I've got something great for you. Treasure you wouldn't dream of.
Treasure, you say? Right, you've got my attention.
I see you're a smart man. A man who knows a thing or two about the world. I've got... Wait for it. I've got a piece of the Queen of Sheba's sword.
Never heard of her. Who's she?
She was a great queen in ancient times. She gave Solomon a sword with magical powers.
Magical, eh? You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
No. It's in the Bible. And this sword, once it's put back together, nothing can stop it. It can cut through bones, teeth, even steel and stone.
I see. But you've only got one piece. What's that good for?
I couldn't get it all. The fellow I bought it off didn't have the rest. He sold off bits and pieces. But they've got powers of healing, you see? And put strength in your... you know, manhood. What do you say? Deal?
We'll shake on it. I'll get you the job, and you'll give me the piece of the Queen of Sheba's sword.
Agreed. Goodbye.
God save you.
You're interested in carrying water?
I am. It's about time something good came to decent folk.
I agree. Now, I'll ask you a few questions.
What? But I want the work and I deserve it. Keep your questions for good-for-nothings.
What makes you so deserving? How did you make a living before this?
I was the owner of a mine. Well, I had a lease on it. But in our line of work, it amounts to the same thing.
The chief, eh? But have you ever hauled a bucket of ore up a hill?
There's no hill in a mine. Just a shaft with a winch.
It's hard work carrying water.
So is taking care of a mine.
It's not quite the same thing, is it? You need brawn to carry water, not brains.
I wasn't born a mine owner, you know. I've done my share of hauling.
There's also the option of, emptying latrines.
Are you trying to insult me? That's no job for a decent Christian.
True. That's why it pays double.
Double, hey? Well, that's not bad, but for a man of my stature, no doubt there are more needy souls. Double.
How are you holding up in Rattay?
Not too well. I've tried offering my administrative abilities at the rat house, but the bailiff treats me like a peasant.
He's not an easy man to deal with, true enough. But if you show him what you're capable of...
Well, if he gives you a chance to show him...
And the bailiff complained he couldn't get a word out of you.
I refused to talk to him. Last time I did, he was vulgar, shouted and threatened to whip me. And then he comes and interrogates me.
Well, I can see how that would put you off him. What would you give me if I put in a good word for you?
So that's how it is it? An honest person can't get a job, only one who'll stoop to bribing?
Come now. I just want to help, but I'll have my job cut out persuading the bailiff to take you.
All right. I don't have anything, but I know the armourer in Sasau, and he'll give you a good price if I have a word with him.
Cheap armour might come in handy, all right? Done.
Done. As soon as I get the job, come and see me, and I'll tell you all about it.
That's enough for now.
Take care.
God be with you. What can I do for you?
You're one of the people interested in work?
Well, Alex told me that I'm supposed to ask about a job carrying water.
That's right. But first, I'll ask you a few questions. You are...
Peter. But everyone calls me Rock. There was more than enough Peters in the mines. And not just in the mines. So...
At the mines? So you're a miner?
That's right. I worked in the East Shaft, and I hope I'll be working there again. Now that I think of it, have you heard anything from their lordships? When will they open the mines again?
I have no idea what their lordships plan to do about it.
All right. I just thought you might have heard something.
How badly do you want to carry water?
Well, right now there doesn't seem to be much work around for miners, and at least I can earn a few groschen.
It's not easy work, though. It's a long way to carry water.
Do you think it was easier in the mines? Digging through rock on your knees all day for months on end?
There's one more option. Carrying shit.
What? For the knacker?
It's a job.
But what would people say? I need money badly, but I couldn't go back to mining after that.
But it would be twice the pay.
The money would help, true enough. But what about afterwards? I don't want to be carrying shit all my life.
No, it won't come to that. Sir Radzig will surely take care of things when he returns home. He won't forget the sacrifice you make.
I'm glad to hear that. If that's how it is, I'll even carry shit.
How are you holding up?
You mean this here? Well, I've got feeling back in my arm again.
What happened to it, anyway?
That time in Skalitz. I was knocked down by a horse, but it's better now.
Look, I can see by the way your arm is hanging it's not healed. You can't carry water like that.
Well, come on. I owe money to the Sawbones and I need the work to pay for it. I'll give you anything you want.
Well, I could find something that will help you.
Anything?
Here you go. This will help it heal better.
Thank you so much. How much do I owe?
Oh, nothing. We Skalitz folk have to help each other out.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
The bailiff said he couldn't get a word out of you.
Well, he's not the most popular man around here, after everything that's happened. You can't blame us.
Well, maybe, but if you lot had just talked to him, I wouldn't have to run around dealing with this, and you'd all have a few groschen by now.
You might be right, but there's no point crying over spilt milk.
What would you give if I put in a good word for you?
Good word?
Sure. If I put in a good word for somebody to the bailiff, then that someone has a better chance.
But I haven't got a pot to piss in. I lost everything, and I'm in debt too. But I might know about an opportunity.
Oh? What kind of opportunity?
I heard about it at the mine, before Skalitz was raised.
So, what did you hear?
They found something they wanted kept a secret. There weren't any rumours about a silver scene, but what else could it be?
The punishment for stealing the king's silver is hanging or burning at the stake.
I know, but you can't be burned for stealing silver nobody knows about.
That's enough for now.
God be with you.
I'm honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
I know everything I need to know to pick the carriers.
Splendid. I'll be glad to get this damn business off my back. So how have you decided?
So, how do we do this? Do I just give you their names, or should I send for them?
Just tell me their names and whether they should carry water or something else. Don't worry, I'll send for them.
Tonda. They call him the Winch.
The winch. Ought to be good with a bucket anyway. What's he going to do?
To carry water.
So we have one person to carry water. Who's next?
Peter, better known as Rock.
Peter? Rock? Didn't he get into a fight and injure his arm? Well, what should he do?
Carrying shit.
Good. One person for this job. Next?
Vincent, Moimir's son.
Vincent? Never heard of him. What do you think he should do?
To carry water.
So we have one person to carry water. Who's next?
Vasil goes by the moniker of Pickman.
Pickman. I hope he doesn't have a history of pickpocketing.
No. They call him Pickman because he worked in the silver mines, and he was very keen with the pick. So much so, he managed to chop off 2 of his fingers.
Well, he can't do too much damage with a bucket, I suppose. Where do you want to put him?
To carry water.
So we have one person to carry water. Who's next?
Antonia.
What? A woman?
Yeah, is that a problem? You never said it had to be only men.
I didn't, but I kind of assumed it would be clear. It's a long walk with a heavy load, man's work.
She can handle the job, have no fear.
Let's hope so. You'll have to answer to me if she can't. Where do we put her then?
Carrying shit.
Good. One person for this job. Next?
That's it.
Good. All decided. Now about the cook's job.
I chose a cook as well. Should I tell you or go to Hagen?
Tell me who you chose and I'll take care of it.
I chose old Agnes for the cook's job. I had a job convincing her, but it was worth it. She's the best cook around.
Glad to hear it. I'll have to drop in on Hagen for lunch sometime.